This is the Okayest Hunter podcast. Never pass on shooter bucks, because that's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag, you hunt how you want. This is Okayest Hunter.
Well. We're back.
We back.
I contemplated just shutting the whole thing down after all the drama over the weekend. I was like, what's the point?
Drama from the last turkey podcast.
My God.
Poor Paul Campbell.
And Paul just wants to
social.
He just wants to do nothing but good for turkey hunting.
Just wants to spread the word.
Just wants to spread the word and just be passionate.
Why
shit on a guy who wants to be passionate? There's no reason for it. Take your hate somewhere else.
That's right. In fact, he might be passionate about getting shit on, so there could be that.
There's that. Like that's weird.
There's people who are passionate about shitting on
That's a different industry altogether. We won't talk about that one.
Probably for the best.
We're brought to you by Half Rack.
Speaking of the other industry.
half-rack.com. Save yourself 15% off. Use code OHP and buy yourself all of the turkey gear that you need. They're coming out with new stuff on a pretty regular basis. Those guys are very thoughtful in their products, their designs, what they bring to market. And really, you can get all the gear you're going to need from half-rack.com.
They got neck gaiters on the website now.
Neck gaiters. I am going to be spinning in that bucket. I don't give a shit what you tell me. I'm bringing it with me.
Blowing your crow call.
Just in circles.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Pros on surround.
You got to get that 360 sound.
That's right. I know they have way more than that. They have like but it's not deer season. Like they have what's it called? Is it gimbal? What is it?
The gambrel?
Gambrel. That was wrong.
For hanging up your deer?
Yeah. You're going to get one. You're going to get one.
You
need one.
Yeah. I definitely need one.
Yeah, because the old
system I was rigging up this fall.
That was quite a system off the old playground set.
Yeah, right between the kids' swings,
it worked.
Looked cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wasn't fun to raise up there.
I'm sure it wasn't. No pulley.
Latitude Outdoors. It sounds like, and don't quote me here, please, for the love of God. I don't want any drama.
Ready to shit on you.
Sounds like they're shooting for June-ish for shipping of the Carbon Series speed sticks.
Everybody is ready and waiting.
Just like everyone's probably pretty froggy. I think they have a lot of pre-orders that came through, so those will start shipping out. I mean, that's pretty soon. That's like in about a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll be excited to get our hands on those and the platforms for all of us so we can go climb trees in our backyards and start putzing around with gear.
Flinging arrows.
Getting it all tested out. Flinging arrows. I'll be flinging the method arrows. I got to get new arrows. I don't know if I can get the rescheduling done for going out to those guys because they're a big sponsor of the Total Archery Challenge. So
their
all
season
over
is ramping up.
So I might just have to go to the local archery shop like Whitetails and get my bow tuned up and then get the new arrows from those guys. Which is fine. Bear Archery, by the way, like they're not any official sponsor, but they were kind enough to send us a couple of bows that we're going to be giving away at Foam Fest this year. So planning for Foam Fest is officially started. I got to go to Hurricane Marsh Bowman next Tuesday after the show to start to work through the details of that, but just got some head nods and verbals that we should be good to go.
I actually watched the little video clip from this last year's shoot today on my break.
Nice.
I was just scrolling through the page. I was like,
there's
Foam Fest. That was fun. Watched the little video.
That was a cool event.
Yeah.
There's a lot of number of people have been asking about it, and we're obviously trying to do a good job with it already. So we got a couple bows, so we'll be giving stuff away. It'll be great. It's obviously a lot of partners like Latitude. I'm sure they're going to hook it up. Method will hook it up. Go Wild. They sent stuff last year. Actually, they did give a Go Wild branded bag, but they also sent us because they have so many retailers that they work with. They gave us a lot of product from Vortex and a bunch of others, so we can get a whole bunch of accessories from those guys. Spartan Forge is handing out free subscriptions. They're obviously doing so much more than this point in time last year. This year with the app and all the features, like the 3D stuff wasn't there this time last year. That came out in the beginning of this year. I was in Montana when that feature dropped, and I was like, well, this is a good place to be because there's a lot of mountains around here.
Yeah, you were playing with them, sending us all kinds of stuff.
That's pretty cool. So
I would say if you're on the fence about doing the Foam Fest, it's still a ways out, but everybody who did it last year made out like bandits because it wasn't like it wasn't huge yet.
Yeah.
So everyone got
won.
prizes.
Like,
yeah.
Everybody won stuff.
You win and you win and you win. Yeah,
You get a
there's-
car.
Even the raffle like turned out pretty good. I forget we donated money from the raffle, and like there's just a lot of positivity happening there. We had saddles and stands set up in trees. People were flinging arrows. Tell me an archery event you can go to where you can get in a saddle, have someone show you how to use it, i.e. Greg probably,
Yep.
and then actually fling arrows from your strong side and weak side to get comfortable to see what it is. And I know a couple people have
and I
actually
looked
bought
at
them.
it too. It's a really good opportunity for first timers if people were thinking about
Yep.
it, or it's
'Cause
like,
you're in good
why
company.
not?
We're not going to judge you there.
Yeah, put them up a tree. We
Fall
only
out of the
went.
tree. We'll make sure you're okay, and we'll just laugh at you.
I think
Yeah,
we
it's
had
fine.
all of our setups set up.
We all did. Yeah,
I brought 2 or 3 tree
had a couple
stands and
stands.
sticks. We had different sticks, different
Yep.
stands,
Brought
just to
the-
let
yep.
people, if you've seen one and wanted to try it,
Yep.
come on out and try ours.
No, I enjoyed it. You did the shed hunt thing. You had coloring books with the logo on it. That was cool.
Yeah.
My wife was like herding children. It was all around pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our wives did a good job too.
Yep.
And there's enough indoor space. So when it did rain, everyone was fine. Like it was dry.
Yep.
But the course there is really nice at Horicon.
Yeah, it's a very nice course.
And we only shot half of it. Like we didn't need the whole thing.
No.
So I think that worked out pretty good. I don't know if I would have an appetite to shoot much more than that.
Yeah, I mean, there was plenty of targets, and then by the time you're done shooting that, and if you have kids there, they're doing activities, and maybe you want to go talk to somebody that's got something set up, and shooting from the saddle or trying it on or learning how to climb with it. And just general shooting the breeze with other hunters. There's enough things to do there.
Yeah.
And we had food, and then the raffle.
Yeah, and they even drove they had one of those some tractor that was spraying for mosquitoes the whole course.
Yep.
I was like, you're gonna spray for mosquitoes? This whole thing is far more worth it than I could have possibly imagined. Are
Absolutely.
you kidding me? I was so excited. But we do have a guest on with us today. So by the way, all the partners use code OHP, save yourself money across all of those partners. That's Go Wild, Method Archery, Spartan Forge, Latitude, and Half Rack. We dedicate at least 1 to 2 episodes a year to our partners. So there's plenty of episodes where you can learn more about them intimately. And then there'll be more of those coming up. So no need to go deep every time. But we love them.
We do.
We can do just a little bit.
Yeah. Who's our guest tonight?
Just waiting for it to get more awkward. Let it linger out there.
Lingering like a fart.
Welcome to the show. We got Cody Jenkins, one of the hosts of Whitetail Legacy podcast. What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? Appreciate you having me on. Loving that new deer added to the studio. It's looking nice back
Yeah,
there.
you bet it is.
Yeah, he's an
Yeah.
intimidator.
Mr. Studley.
Mr. Studley.
Yeah.
The old urgent care buck right there.
The urgent care. I forgot it had coined its own name, the urgent care buck.
The fun one. What brings you to our show? Why the hell did you decide to do this with us?
I have no idea.
Thank you here. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, we're live on Instagram. I did put in the title on Instagram. If you're watching there and you want to actually participate in the comments, head over to YouTube so we can actually see what you're doing. And Cody, I forgot to send you that link, so don't even worry about it. My bad. Go figure.
Okay, no
Leave
problem.
it up to me to fuck something up.
Attaboy.
Anyway, welcome to the show. Before we get started, tell folks about Whitetail Legacy, how long you've been doing that and what that's all about, and then we'll kind of dive into some turkey stuff.
All right. Well, I started Whitetail Legacy with my co-host Ryan Nelson about 5.5 years ago. Like most podcasts, some of them started off really good. We started off pretty rough. I feel like I got a pretty good handle on it nowadays, but release a podcast every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. My co-host stepped away about a year, it'd be almost a year now. So I've been running it myself. And over 5.5 years, I've missed one Wednesday at 11 a.m. So pretty consistent, probably 98% about whitetails and whitetail hunting. But I had a turkey episode last week, and it was savage out there on the streets. But
All the savage
I'm
turkeys
excited to
get
talk
out on the
turkey
streets.
yeah, there's some very, very passionate turkey hunt. I thought there was more like the traditional bow hunter crowd was like pretty radical and hardcore, but the turkey hunters, there's a higher class of turkey hunter out there than me, and that's for sure.
It's intent. We had something similar. We had an episode last week, and just that we clipped a chunk of it, put it out on social, and that clip out of context got beat up pretty heavily. But it's good that people are passionate. That's not a bad thing. I think that's fine. I think people should probably just be a little bit nicer in general. Like, there's nothing wrong with being a little bit kinder to people. You
Sounds
don't.
like a pretty good
Just,
philosophy.
you know,
Yeah.
if you instead of coming off right away, you know, being open and educating someone, I think is a better process. I think there's so much hate around that someone automatically thinks that you're going to be an asshole if they comment something that they think that you're going to dislike. They have no idea really if you're going to like it or not. So they just come automatically with the hate. And, you know, like I said, I had multiple comments, messages. I hope you die. I hope you get shot in the face. Like, it was pretty radical for me. It's kind of eye opening. I was like, wow. And me being the okayest hunter and not educated on all the topics out there, you know, I dumbly walked into it, and you know, I learned real quick.
Yeah, they learned you real good. Unfortunately, that's Jesus. We had one that eventually, we'll get to the meat of the topic here, because I want to hear your story of your bird. But one of the guys, I was like, you know, well, best of luck to you, man. Cheers. He goes, I'm American. I don't say cheers. I was like, all right, well, that's a new one. Thanks for that. He goes, you're not welcome. I'm like, okay.
You should have hit him with an adios.
Yeah.
I was like,
Adios, man. I'm trying to.
He eventually called me a Yank because I called Tom Turkey a Tom Turkey. And he's like, you really are Yank. They're called gobblers. I'm like,
I saw that comment. I'm
all
like,
right,
what
dude,
in the world
I
is
don't
going
know.
on
Like,
here?
You've taken it to a whole nother level here, and I'm not really sure I'm going to keep wrestling into the mud with you on this. Like, whatever, go nuts, pal. You obviously need some more love in your life if you're that sour towards the world. And nothing but love for you, buddy. So that's how it's going to be on my end. Just more kindness. But also fuck off.
Yeah. Kill them with kindness until they don't take your kindness. And
Exactly.
Push me too far. No, so you got one. So I'm sorry, what state are you in again for the listeners?
Illinois. Yeah. Illinois' turkey season is extremely confusing. So I probably should dive into that before we dive into the actual story. So in Illinois, you're allowed 3 tags, but you're only allowed 2 birds. And you're allowed, it's week by week basis. So the first week is Monday through Friday. And then the second week has the weekend, and then that week, and then it goes the weekend and the week. And there's 5 seasons. And every tag is for a specific season. So if you have a first season tag and you don't kill, you can't use that tag in second or third season. The tag is done in that week. And they've done that forever. There's been multiple complaints, but turkey numbers are really good in some areas, and some areas they're not. So I don't know how they can improve it. I'm definitely not smart enough to be an advocate to that. But I grew up in Missouri turkey hunting, and down there you get a tag and you're good for the whole entire season. You can hunt, you know, until you fill the tag. I would be really okay with them giving me 1 turkey tag and let me hunt the 5 weeks, because for guys like us, kids, we work. I mean, you have like a Saturday and Sunday to hunt, and you're hoping that you have good weather during that Saturday and Sunday. If you don't have good weather and it's snowing like it was this last Saturday and 35, 40 mile an hour winds, you have 1 day to hunt on Sunday morning, and then you can only hunt till 1 p.m. as well. So
I feel like you just
it's
did
pretty
a math
limited.
problem, and I have no idea what the hell you just said.
That's one of those word problems that twists you up like a pretzel. You don't know what
Johnny has 5 but it's
Eric-
Saturday and it's 11 o'clock.
Eric's
He only had
looking
8.
Eric is looking really constipated right
I'm
now.
hard time right now.
Yeah.
I lost you like right in the beginning. I was like, "Fuck, I'm lost." I have no idea where what you're saying.
Okay, so basically,
I have no idea what
there's
you just said.
5 different seasons, right? They're week long.
Some of them are longer though.
Yeah. You have to have an individual tag per each season to be able to hunt that season. If you don't fill the tag during that week or that season, that tag is no longer good.
It's like ours then, where we have 6-7 day seasons. It goes Wednesday and it ends the following Tuesday. That why we do it that way, I don't know, but we get 7 days.
And so each tag is for
period
that,
A
for that
through
period.
You get like a
Yeah,
time
yeah,
frame,
okay,
yep,
that-
for our
yeah.
season, like
Yep.
Cody said. What's interesting is
Yeah.
like every state has their take on how they're going to manage their resources, but like the two that you just mentioned, Cody, Missouri, here's a tag, here's a month-long season, good luck, kill a bird. The simplest way to do it, and then you go over to Illinois next door, and it's like the most convoluted,
Yeah,
misleading,
most
messed up
complex
way to do it.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, and then, but like Missouri has, 4 or 5 times the turkey population Illinois does. So you're like, we don't know what's, if the ground is more sustainable for turkeys in Missouri. But in my county, turkey numbers are pretty low, and I haven't killed a turkey in this county just because I've been getting other counties because my turkey hunting spots isn't very good. The last 4 years, but I got a tag this year, basically because one of the landowners that I have permission on wants me to kill a turkey. He thinks that the farmers have a delusion of turkeys and deer eating their crops, which there is a problem with that. But the problem is coons. Nobody coon hunts anymore. Very few people
Agreed.
trap. And the coons, a lot of the ground around me, there's lakes, there's strip mines, rivers. The coon population is exploding, and the farmers think we need to kill more deer. And if you don't kill a deer, then they get a nuisance permit and they kill the deer, or they kill the turkey on a nuisance permit. So I would rather kill the deer in season legally, which I know a nuisance permit is legal. But I would rather kill them that way than. So I've been shooting 3 does a year off of the same farmer's ground as permission to hunt the ground. That's a stipulation that I've been doing. So I'm hoping to get my boy involved in that this year and let him pluck some does off there to ease the.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always like when am I going to shoot him? Am I going to wait till late season, or am I going to shoot him early, or am I going to shoot one, when I'm supposed to be in the rut, supposed to be buck hunting? So trying to pick them out. I try to space them out throughout the year. Kill one during muzzleloader season, kill one with a bow and kind of space them out. But yeah, so that's Illinois turkey season in a nutshell. So this year I had a first season tag, a 4th season tag, and a 5th season tag. And you can get, it's per county. So I had a 1st season tag for Henderson, 4th season tag for Henderson, and a 5th season for Knox, which is a county I live in. I killed my bird in Henderson, so I'm not going to go down there and hunt 4th season. Just kind of give them a break, but I am going to hunt 5th season here in Knox County for that 5th season bird. A lot of people don't like 5th season. It's all the way in May. I have really good luck in 5th season. And the weather's really, really nice. And it's like the premium time to take my kids out because it's like 50 in the morning, and beautiful out. So I normally set the ground blind up, take the kids out. We start in that, and then we run and gun a little bit as much as you can with a 7 and 5-year-old.
Very cool, man.
That's great. So how did you get the bird you got this season ready?
So first season, a buddy of mine has some hunting ground that's in Henderson that's very, very, very good turkey ground. There's a bunch of turkeys on it. He leases it, and he said, come down and hunt. So we went down there, and the way we set up was we got there, waited to hear him gobbling. There's a lot of people that scout very heavily for turkeys. I've hunted turkeys ever since I was a little kid in Missouri, and I've never scouted for birds other than going the night before and listen to them roost. It's all off of kind of prior knowledge of hearing them gobble in the spring one year, and the next year they're roosted kind of in the same area. But we set up in between what's a group of toms, probably 3 or 4, and we could hear some hens in there as well. And then we set up in between them and a lone bird. I really like to do that strategy because sometimes you can't pull that whole flock. But if you can get in between the lone tom and the flock, that bird's going to go to the flock anyways. So if you're in the middle of that transition, you can pull him to you pretty easy because he's already wanting to go that direction. And that's what happened was we set up on the main flock. They gobbled pretty aggressively in the tree, flew down, gave us a couple more gobbles. And he goes, they're going to work east. And they exactly what they did. They worked east kind of away from us. And then that lone bird hit the ground, gobbled twice. Each time he was closer. So we waited on him. He came in to sub 10 yards and I was able to second shot wonder is what I am out there.
Fired a warning shot for him. Make it fair.
Yeah, the first shot he was extremely close to the decoy, and my buddy's like, "Don't shoot my decoys." I'm like, "All right." So I tried to wait him out, and he's also like, don't let him tear up my decoy because it's like a decoy that he's put a lot of work into. So I waited till he was like head away from and kind of shot high on him, thinking I could pull it off, and didn't work. And then the second shot, he was probably about 15 yards, and I was able to drop him there. But on the way in, I loaded 2 shells, and he's like, "What's the second one for?" I said, "They call me the second shot wonder." And I ended up needing it.
You had to prove your point.
I was like, "I told you at the truck it was going to take 2 shots."
You had to take 2 just to prove your point,
Yeah, you got to speak it into existence, man, and that's what happened.
You manifested your destiny.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't you?
But I told him I had a 3-inch number 6 loaded first shot, and the second shot, most of the time they're running away, so I loaded a 3.5-inch number 4, and I was like, "Man, that was a tough bird." Took the number 4s.
The 3.5-inch number 4. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. Good job.
Conditioned your shoulder real nice.
Yeah. I know people say I didn't even notice it, man. The first one I kind of cheeked myself because I was aiming high on the bird anyways. And then the second one I was able to get back on him quick and finish him off. But we did get it on film, so perfect. He just comes running right into the decoys, sub 10 yards, and you get to see me absolutely completely miss the first shot and then drop him on the second shot. He didn't even flop the second shot though. He didn't even flop.
Knowing him dead.
That's awesome.
And the okayest style, you got to have the second shot back.
Always.
Those
when I shot my biggest buck today, I took 2 shots at him, and I'm not sure which one hit, the first one or the second one. But he died.
It doesn't matter.
When I got up to him.
It's a dead deer.
Yeah, he only had 1 hole when I got up to him, and I was like, "Yeah, well, the first shot he wasn't running, but the second shot he was. So I'm gonna go with the first shot, but who knows?"
Very cool.
But it was perfect shot right behind the shoulder, man.
That's all
So
that matters.
one of them was good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the one thing about being an okayest hunter is you sometimes just lack general confidence.
Or you black out.
Or you black out. But I shot a buck rifle hunting. It's in here. The skull's down there now. But I shot him 3 times. But I was convinced I didn't hit him like any of the times. And when we got up to him, we gutted him. Like all 3 bullets were in there. And it was all good shots. So my buddy's like, "You did fine. What the hell are you talking about?" I was like, "Well, I didn't think I did fine at all." Just like this one, Greg. I was like, I don't think I got him, and just like that every damn time. I don't think I get this silly deer. And apparently, it happens. You're an okayest hunter, but sometimes you're actually gooder than you think.
The blood I saw when we picked up the trail of that deer and the blood I saw, I was pretty confident it wasn't really all that far away.
Oh, well, you never let on to that.
No, I had to let you do your own juices, man.
Don't want to get the hopes up.
Mine,
Don't want to get the hopes up.
Yeah, mine dropped within sight, so I knew I put
Yeah,
a good
when
shot on
they
it.
fall.
But I think that's from my grandpa when I was young. Missouri rifle hunting. He used a semi-automatic 25-06, and until that deer stopped moving, he did not stop shooting. So, I'm trying to break my kids. Every one of my gun's kids is a single shot. I'm trying to make it to where they don't have the option of having another shot. My kids, they have a single shot 410, single shot 350 Legend, and a single shot 243. and just trying to get that. You only got one shot, man. So you really have to make it count. I was raised on get the job done. You know,
Well, Ben, you got 2 rounds. We're getting 2. Like,
yeah,
lead from the
yeah,
front here.
yeah,
Well, they'll just
yeah.
learn how to reload real fast with that break action.
Yeah.
Hey, ammo's not
Funny.
cheap, so there
Well,
you
you
go.
got Derek got a bird too. I haven't even heard the story yet, really.
I got a
About your
first
bird.
got myself a nice little first season opening day bird. Thought I could set up on him in the morning. I had done some scouting, as Cody mentioned. He didn't really do that, but I kind of knew where they were like to roost on this little ridge, and I'm lucky enough where I can kind of weasel my way through that area on my way to work in the morning. If I go a couple minutes out of my way, so I was driving by every morning and see them out in this field. Had a pretty good idea where they were going, and then in the morning they just pitched down to the other side. So I was calling, got a hen to fly down. The first hen down, first bird down, came right into the decoys. I was like, oh, this is awesome. They're all gonna follow. Well, we're calling. I'm calling to the hen. She's calling, and all of a sudden, I don't know. They just flew down to the other side, so they didn't come in. When they got out of sight, I was like, I got to sneak out
They
of
must
here.
have had a fight.
Get
and
to
roost
work.
with her early. Damn it, Betty.
Yeah, they kicked Betty out. Betty, you go
Betty's
over
like-
there. See if that Jake wants you. So I was like, well, they can't see me right now. I should sneak out of here and get to work so I don't booger them up. Otherwise, they're going to start coming in, and I'm not going to be able to get out of here and go to work. So I went to work, and after work, I was planning on going real quick, but we had that like huge thunder hailstorm roll
Yeah.
through.
That's
So
right.
on my way, like back home, it was hailing like crazy and thundering, lightning. I was like, nope, heading back home. So I went home and pretty much called it a day and was going to go back in the morning. But like 6:30, all of a sudden I see it's like getting lighter outside. I'm like, oh, check the forecast. Supposed to be no rain till 8. I looked at Ashley, got a whole smile on my face. I was like, it's going to be dry till 8. Can I go? She was like, go. So I ran out to the same spot and I'm driving in, and there's like a glimpse of field from the road that I can see into. And then I got to drive past the little like edge of the hill where they like to go up and roost. And the whole flock is like on the edge of the field going toward that hill. I'm like, oh my God, they're going up to roost in the spot that I know. So I just drove my car down, ran up the hill from the backside, all through these pines and briars and super thick. And then that hill is like flat on top. And that's where they like to go up to. And then they just run off and roost in those trees. They were at the bottom. So I just got as close to that little crest of the hill as I could, figuring they were going to come up there. And then I used Matt Weathered Oak's little slate call he made. And then I had Drew's Dirty Hen Yelper in my mouth. And I did a couple calls of each, not much, just enough to be like, hey, somebody's up here ready to roost. And I sat for, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes, maybe,
That
just
quick,
sitting there.
wow.
And all of a sudden, Redhead came up the hill, periscoping. And I had my gun. I had my gun up, but it wasn't like in my shoulder because I didn't know where they're gonna pop up, right? So it's like they're gonna pop up somewhere. So he popped up over here. So I had my gun like this. So I'm just like playing the still game, and he's looking, and then a nice little breeze came in. I just slowly brought it up. He just kind of worked his way along, and boom! Didn't see any other turkeys. He flopped down and went walking over there, and he's not there. I'm like, what the hell? Well, he flopped all the way down the hill like 40
Oh my
yards, and then
gosh.
all the turkeys were down there. There's probably like 4 other toms
Beating
and a
'em
whole
up.
bunch of hens. Yeah, probably beating the crap out of them. So it's pretty short hunt right there.
Not bad.
Take
You
it.
went back. That's good. That's fun. And to our knowledge, prior to hitting the record button, none of us have ever reaped a turkey. And Cody learned, it sounds like the hard way, that that's not a favorable thing in the turkey hunting community. So then it begs the question, who is doing it? And like, do they know that it's not favorable?
A lot
I
of them
don't-
don't care. And again,
Yeah.
it goes
their
to the point.
tag.
It's your tag, your hunt
Yep.
how you want it. As long as you're doing it legally, some would question ethically, but you're doing it your way. Who is it to say that it's wrong?
Yeah. It's fascinating that there's such strong opinions about things.
There's strong opinions about everything.
if
There's
someone had
strong
said, "Let's go
opinions
do that,"
about
and
people
and that's how they
bass
did that. I wouldn't
fishing.
have questioned
You
it.
know,
Like, oh, this is how you do it. Okay. And if it would have worked, I'm like, okay, clearly it works. I wouldn't have thought twice about it.
So I don't want to speak for Cody, but it sounds like we were all kind of in the same boat. Like we've all heard of reaping.
Right.
I know people who've done it. I've seen the videos of it. It looks wildly effective. But Cody, after your experience with your podcast, what did you learn about it?
So the person I had on a podcast was a really good friend of mine, and he's been successful on multiple birds throughout the years, calling them in on decoys and using the strategy. He really likes the reaping because, man, I've never done it, but just to watch the videos, it's a thrill. Like, they are charging in, and he lets them get like so close that he could touch them before he shoots them. Like, he lets them get all the way in. He just released a video today, and the turkey's 2 feet from him when he raises the gun. It's incredible, and he's out in the open bean field. There's like no undercover at all. He's not reaping these birds in the woods. And I had him on because it's something that I was interested in and I knew nothing about. Like, I've never tried it on a bird, killed multiple turkeys. I've never seen it done. We have like been behind a fan, like calling, because I've seen people do that as well. Like, they use a fan while they're calling, and I'm not sure if that's as frowned on as reaping, but I know there's some kind of stigma about ban the fan, which I'm just learning. But with getting all the comments that I got, it was very, very intense, hateful stuff. Like, I hope you get shot in the face. I hope you die on film. I hope, you're ruining the future generation of hunters. You're a poacher. Next week, we learn how to shoot deer at night out of a truck. I mean,
sometimes the internet wins. Sometimes it's a total asshole.
Yeah. I didn't comment on any of them except one, and I was open with the guy, and I said, "Hey, you seem very passionate about this. Educate me on why it's wrong, or why you think it's wrong." And at first, I don't think he believed. I thought, like I said before, I think people are so touchy these days.
Well, they're jaded because of the
they
internet.
automatically think you're just being a smart ass, And I'm like, no, I honestly, I want to have an honest conversation with you about this topic, because maybe it's something that I don't want to do. I don't know. I've never done it. I've never killed one this way. And I'm trying to get both sides. So he basically said that it's extremely dangerous, which the guest I had on spoke about, do it in an open field. Don't do it on public land. Make sure that other hunters know that you're going to be reaping birds. To get shot in an open bean field behind a turkey fan, I think would be pretty hard to do with a shotgun. I know that there's people out west that like walk with an antelope decoy, and or you use a moose decoy and stuff. And I don't know anything about that style of hunting as well. So I could see there'd be dangers with all that. Like the whitetail drilling guys, they're carrying like a deer running around chasing stuff. I don't see anything wrong with that. And I know Chancey is a big advocate to reaping turkeys, like loves doing it. So, I mean, Michael Waddell, I've seen him do it a ton. I've seen the Drurys literally walk around the woods with a fan, just like standing around, walking around like this, and killing turkeys. So me being uneducated in the topic, I thought it was like a legit legal. What's legal? I thought it was like a legit thing to do, but it's. I had someone told me that it's the crossbow hunting of turkey hunting for deer. It's the equivalent to killing a deer.
That's a double jab right there.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
totally.
Yeah. I was
This is
like,
what I've learned.
great,
because I had a similar confrontation, and it was actually someone responding to one of our ads, and the ad is the no Jake break sticker, which is on this gun case over here, and I think I planted the wrong one. Anyway, go figure. I saw some of the comments coming through in this live feed right now, and they're saying it's not a slam dunk, it doesn't work every time. And the reason that is, from what I've learned so far, and I am not the expert, okay?
You talking about reaping?
Yeah, it's because it only draws out the dominant bird. So you might have a tom that's hanging around, or a Jake or whatever. Heaven forbid you shoot the Jake, apparently. But to that end, like, only the dominant bird will come into that, because that's the only bird prepared to fight for that dominance. The other ones are like, F no, I'm not fighting. I don't care. I'm not the dominant bird. It'd be like an MMA fighter versus a stoner. He'd be like, no, I'm going to go get high, man. You can go ahead and get in that ring. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, that's how I would understand it. And so like, no, it doesn't work every time, but it works every time on a dominant bird is how I understood it. And the reason people get viscerally, passionately pissed off is because then they think that if you just took in the first week of turkey hunting, if everyone's reaping and only the dominant birds are coming out to that, reap or fan or whatever, you just took out how much breeding. And if we consider what Paul Campbell had said on the show last week about the lecking species in this pecking order in the dominant hierarchy, then it's going to take a little bit for that to be reestablished. And not to say that it won't get reestablished, but it might take so long as that now we've missed the opportunity for breeding. Yeah, I've learned so much in just 1 week that I'm just blown away, and I kind of see it a little bit, but I also see our side of it, which is, someone had challenged me, and they're like, "Well, if you said just now, Cody, that we're ruining the future generations of hunting, and when we talk about like no Jake break and never pass my tag, my hunt, and we're promoting shooting Jakes, we're promoting shoot whatever makes you happy." And I mentioned to this gentleman like, "Well, but kids are onlooking." So if kids are on the internet, which is where they are on social media, and they're seeing "Don't shoot Jakes, you're a piece of shit. That's the crossbow hunting of deer hunting. Don't do that. You're not a real hunter." That 12-year-old is now not going to shoot that animal because he thinks, well, that's not man enough. That's not real enough. That's not challenging
Other
enough.
people will frown
Other
on
people
me
will
if
frown
I
on
do
me.
it.
And so people
Yeah.
say, well, it's cool if it's your first or if you're a kid, but then what do you think the first or the kids are thinking? Like, by the way, when I get a turkey, I'm 37 years old. I have never shot a turkey in my life. So I guarantee when I post a picture of me holding up a Jake or whatever the hell it's going to end up being, it won't be a hen. Like, I'm going to get shit on for it. Like, how dare you? You're a grown ass man. I'm a grown ass man that's like a 12-year-old boy inside that has never shot a fucking turkey. Okay. So I'll go back to this episode and reference it. Like, people shouldn't be casting judgment the way that they're casting judgment. And there should be opportunity for education. Like, if I said, "Hey, Greg, can you go write my name down for me real quick?" And you said, "How do you spell that?" And I was like, "What?" And I'm mad at you because I asked you to spell my name and you know how to do it. And you're like mad at me. It's not good that anyone's mad. Like, you could say, "Well, can you educate me? Like, how do you spell that?" And if I said, "Oh, it's ERIC," you'd be like, "Oh, thanks." But if I said, "Figure it out, asshole, you don't know how to do that. Didn't you know?
It's all a matter of
Why are you
perception.
using a pen? You should use a pencil."
Yeah.
And that's like
That's
the
a terrible
whole
analogy.
But
Sorry.
that's the whole runaround of like what Cody is saying is like, so if everyone says don't shoot Jakes because that's just stupid, it's okay for a kid to do it. Like if there was a biological reason for that,
Yep.
I'm all ears. I'm not sure that there is, but if there was, and that's the same with like the reaping thing. If it's bad, like explain to me. Don't just yell at me. Like explain
tell
to
me
me
why
what
is it bad?
I would love to know the actual reason behind what
What
is
are the
wrong with this.
ramifications?
Let's
Yeah.
all like talk about it to help each other
Yeah.
instead of just freaking casting judgment.
Yeah, it was like, are you really that big of a moron that you don't know? And that was one of his comments. And I'm like, I'm kind of up to date on hunting, I feel like, but I'm not like on a lot of the hunting pages commenting and following like what's bad and what's not
You
bad.
got better
I
use
just
of your
don't
time,
know.
do other
Just-
things.
Yeah, I just straight up had no idea. And it like when I told people that, it blew their mind that I didn't know that it was such a big deal. I have said it multiple times. Turkeys just don't do it for me. Like, I like turkey hunting. I like the camaraderie of turkey hunting. I like the nice weather. But I'm a deer guy.
Yeah.
I'm not. I've killed a ton of birds. I've always had a good time. I would rather take someone else and kill a bird than me. I'm just not. I hope I never get there with deer, but turkeys just don't do it for me. It's just like some guy that's like, man, I'm gonna bass fish all day, and if I catch a 4-pounder, I'm gonna be jacked. For me, I'd be like, dude, I got a lot of other stuff I could be doing right now. It just isn't for me, and that's, some guy might not like deer hunting as much as me, but that's my jam. So when I was pretty well open and honest, like I'm just uneducated on the topic of why it's wrong. One of the comments was that when a tom turkey sees a fan, they can't not react to
Like
it.
the
They
dominant
have to
one,
come
right?
in.
That's what I was trying to get at. It's literally like they can't
and-
help it or something like that.
And that was one of the guys that was saying ban the fan. And I'm almost certain, I'm not sure, but I had a screenshot sent to me from somebody. I made it on Make Hunting Great Again So I'm pretty famous.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what they
You
said.
made it on that.
But I made it on the
Which one
page.
was that? The recent one?
Yeah, the recent podcast. I made it on the page, Make Hunting
Oh,
Great
shit.
Again. That's what
I'm
I've
surprised
heard.
we
I haven't
haven't
seen
made
the
it there
post.
yet.
I haven't looked, but yeah, I made it officially on the Ultimate Troll page. So I'm pretty proud of that. But anyways, just off of pure ignorance, that's literally
That's how it
how I
happens
got
usually.
there.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time before
But he was a big advocate on ban the fan, and I was trying to talk to him like, okay, so are we saying that any decoy, like a Tom decoy with a fan, ban that, like you can't use that? Does that have the same reaction? Because I've been to like the outdoor shows and you see like
Dude,
the
like
turkey that's on motion with the fan that pops up and down. Yeah. I'm assuming those are legal because they're selling them. Is that something that a turkey can't not react to? I'm just uneducated in that. And me asking these questions was almost them thinking, trying to validate me reaping, which I've never done. Instead of talking to me about it, one guy said, you need to stop while you're ahead because I'll expose you and you need to start backpedaling. I was like, I'm trying to have an honest conversation.
Pretend I was born yesterday. Educate me, dude.
This is me backpedaling.
Yeah, I'm
Tell
like,
me.
you can expose what I got going on. He's like, I'm not gonna fall for your acting like you're innocent. And I'm like, I literally have no idea. And I'm trying to understand where the line falls of unethical to ethical.
What's fascinating is I had this similar interaction, and I said, too much gets lost in tone when you're communicating via typing and texting and so forth. So I was like, just if you want to talk about it, give me a call and we can chat. And furthermore, I saw in his profile that he had memento mori, which is a Stoic philosophy thing about like, you could die tomorrow, so you should live today as the fullest. Like it's something that I believe in. And I was like, I noticed that you seem to be into Stoic philosophy with the memento mori. Like at least that's a common ground for conversation. We want to start there before we like take the gloves off. And I don't want it to get ugly, And so he called me and we chatted. And he's like, I think I actually like what you guys are doing here. I'll have to tune into the podcast. And it's one of those things where like, if I could have a conversation with everybody doing that, not to say that I'm the wizard, it's that human conversation is what's
trying to find common ground.
It's what Greg says are the keyboard cowboys. When you're in that mode, it's almost like you're in road rage. Like you're not recognizing there's another human being in that car. You're like, oh, you piece of shit, you cut me off. It's like, whoa. That guy's, dog might have just died. He could be having a really sad day right now and isn't even aware that he's
oblivious to what's going on.
Or maybe his wife has cancer. It doesn't have to be bad things. Like there's stuff going on, and for people to be so like outwardly mean out of the gate, and not be educating is that's how I felt. Like, well, educate me. But because we're grown ass men, people just assume that we should know better. And there's so many nuances to all of these facets of the outdoor category, whether it's turkey hunting. I'm sure this stuff exists. It surely exists in trout fishing. I posted a video of Derek picking up a coho and called it a rainbow. And in about 4 seconds, it had 100,000 views. And people coho. And I was like, all right, well, that's getting deleted because
it's a salmonoid of some type. It's silver.
Shit. I was like,
get over it.
Those idiots, that's not what that fish is. I'm like, well, clearly they're not trout fishermen. They're out shed hunting.
And
this thing was half deteriorated in the bottom of a 2-foot creek.
Come on, so it's just, you can't get away from it. And it is what it's part of the thing. So there's Marcus Aurelius had a quote. I'm not going to get it right at all, but he basically said, like, look, when I wake up today, he wrote this in Meditations, which is a book to himself. He said, I'm going to encounter idiots, degenerates, lowlives, beggars, stealers, like people that are unethical. And like, it's on me to know that ahead of time that I'm going to encounter those things. And therefore I shouldn't be pissed off about it and like have that suck out my energy. Like I should just know that I'm going to run into that stuff and also recognize that those people have a place in this world too. Like even the assholes and the degenerates and the idiots and the mean people, they have a purpose. They might be a fucking pilot. They might be, building roads. I don't know what
they might be a heart surgeon for all you know, saving lives.
And they might have a bad day. Like there's a place for everybody so long as when I relate to hunting, we're doing it legally and ethically. Like just keep the gloves on. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this whole podcast is a PSA from this past weekend. It sounds like you had a similar experience, so we're just jamming out on it. And I'm also now afraid to go turkey hunting.
Make sure you do it right.
I might get shot.
Yeah, make sure you do it right.
Like I don't know what is right. Like help me understand. So that's Yeah, it's my tag though, so F off.
You know, one thing I wanted to mention while we're on this topic is one guy said that, you know, it's hard for me to wrap my head around it, but it's true that you are an influencer. So for you, before you talk about anything, it's very important that you know everything about the topic.
That's kind of fair, but you're not going to know
before you talk about it, which I know that I could be influencing people to try said topic because I said that it was something that I'm interested in trying because it looks really cool, and it might spark the love for turkey hunting that I have lost over the years. So he said that, and I agree with the guy, you know, at some point, but they're just like on your podcast, on mine, we say that we're not professionals multiple times. We say that half the time we don't know what we were doing. A couple years ago, I shared that meme of the guy in the front yard watering his grass, that old guy. And it's like, you know, they ask me how I'm so good, and half the time I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know, I mean, he's like he's watering the cement or something. It's like they ask me why I'm so good, but half the time I don't know what I'm doing. And I try to share that for people to understand that, yes, I run a platform, I'm sharing information, but I'm learning just as well as you guys every time I record a podcast. I think once you figure out that, or think that you know everything about turkeys or everything about trout or everything about deer, that's when you become that guy that's so hard-headed that you don't think about anybody other's opinion or how someone else hunts. You know, maybe a guy, you know, a kid kills his first bird reaping, and then some guy shits all over him like I got shitted on. That kid's gonna feel really bad about that experience, you know. And it was, you know, it's his tag, and for him to choose reaping, if that's how he got it done, that's how he got it done. But I feel like there's a miscommunication between what is right for some people and what's right for others, and that's how it's always going to be. But the communication should be quite a bit better, especially when a guy is honest and says, "Hey, educate me."
Yeah.
Not, "You're an asshole." Like right off the rip.
County to county, your tagging system is vastly different based on populations of birds. Like, think about what that looks like across the country. So someone might be able to go on a freaking total killing spree with these things, and it probably would be fine. And someone else might not be at all. And that person that is in this state where it's like tight-lipped and you can't get a tag and it's whatever, and then they see this other guy just murdering turkeys, he might be like, "You're ruining this for the rest of us." Like, well, no, his system is very different. Like, he's in a different state,
It's working
climate,
for him.
region. There's different species of bird. Like, it's totally different. But the world of the internet has brought us all in one melting pot. And so you're seeing all this stuff across borders without any context on what the hell is going on. So Derek, you're a teacher. You probably heard like growth mindset versus fixed
all the time.
And I think a lot of people are in a fixed mindset based on like tradition.
Yeah.
Well, that's not how I did it. Well, that doesn't mean that's the only way that it can be done.
And it gets so tricky, especially like just thinking about this reaping thing and like as far as like structure and like managing populations, right? Like there is no law against shooting the dominant bird. That's the problem. The people have a problem. The dominant bird is dying, and that messes up the pecking order. There's no law against shooting the dominant bird. That bird can get called in. That bird could get shot over decoys. It's just the method in which they're taking a legal bird, which is a problem, which is weird because that bird could be taken in any way.
We could die by a coyote tomorrow.
Without
you get hit by a car.
It's more effective with this reaping tactic. But like the problem is if that's like the issue is don't shoot the dominant bird, then address that issue.
Yeah.
That bird could die yawning during a thunderstorm.
Could fart itself off a limb at night.
Literally, it could be standing there with its mouth wide open and have a drop of rain go down its throat, and it could drown from it. That's how smart those birds are. No, man,
they drown.
They drown all the time.
Wait, what do you mean they drown all the time?
They drown all the time.
You told my mother-in-law,
like
she said people die on
chickens.
hayrides all the time. I was like,
That's
what
right.
are you
See?
fucking talking
People
about?
die on hayrides?
This is no joke, and she's gonna kill me for bringing this up. But I swear to God, I will
shit!
die.
Here we go.
She's like, we're on a hayride. She's like, just be very careful. Hayrides are dangerous. I'm like, wait, it's a hayride. What are you talking about? You know, kids die all the time. Hayrides, Eric. I'm like, all right, well, I'm adding that one to the weird shit of list of things that you have said. But so no, birds die all the time for drowning. I'm like, what are you talking about?
There you go.
Oh, that's great. I'm sure they do. but everyone says they're like the dumbest, smartest bird that's ever existed. And I'm like, it literally has a bird brain. Like that's what we're up against. So like, yes, is it challenging to kill the dominant bird? I read an article by a biologist, and I can probably go pull it up, and I'm not going to because it's going to distract me. And I have ADD, so whatever. But the point was like, at the end of the season, if you're hunting late season or period, whatever the hell it is, the end of the one, those jakes have been hunted. Those jakes have been hunted by predation, by hunters. Like they've seen dominant birds fall. There's pecking order changes. Like that jake might be now a pretty hard bird to get come late season. And I'm like, well, that's pretty valid. If there's no biological reason to not shoot a jake, and if it is truly the chess match that we're trying to talk about here, well, maybe that could be a pretty tough game of chess. But I'm also not an expert chess player, so like, I might need to like bring it down a couple levels. I'm not the Queen's Gambit.
There's plenty of guys who have already shot jakes first season.
Sure.
Right away.
Yep.
It's totally fine.
Yep.
It's a legal bird.
My favorite comment of all was there is zero woodsmanship in that style of hunting. And I think woodsmanship is only brought up these days to talk down to someone.
100%.
Greg's got lots of woodmen.
To say that I'm better than you, or it's just it's a term that it's to me it's more of like a trapping term, or like a harvesting, knowing trees, knowing where you can find mushrooms, knowing how the coons work through stuff. Like that's woodsmanship to me, understanding how deer travel. But he said, stop being a moron and start using ethics and woodsmanship to kill your bird. So to me, using a decoy, calling at a bird, setting up where you roost, there isn't much woodsmanship to that. You're tricking a bird using something that looks like him and making sounds that sound like him.
The whole hunting is questionable. Like we're a superior species. We have superior weapons. Like we have camouflage. We've already like over-indexed on the it's not fair. Like, yeah. I mean, if you want to really level the playing field, get a fucking. I'm swearing a lot in this podcast episode. Sorry, Dad, but like, go get a spear and wear some blue jeans, and good luck. No call.
And by the way, you will be YouTube famous and probably be exiled from that too.
Yeah, right.
It'll all go down the shitter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in my mind, if everybody's craving woodsmanship, I don't know why people hunt the same properties. Everybody should just hunt a different property every single year. They should never go to the same spot because they know what the deer are going to do. They know what the birds are going to do. They shouldn't run trail cameras. They shouldn't do anything. They should just go out there, new spot, new property every single year, and use woodsmanship if that's what they're going to stick their hat on. But I don't even like using that term anymore because it's turned into a negative way to talk down to people, including me. I mean, I'm so more. It's a way of saying I'm a way better hunter than you, just naturally, and and it just blows my mind that people for posting about a way to kill turkeys that I have personally never done. It results into you're a shit hunter. I'm way better than you, and I hope you die. In a nutshell.
DIYF, die in a fire. Is that how that DIY die in DIAF? DIAF, die in a fire.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, you should just get a shirt with a turkey on it with a reap and that says DIAF, die in a fire, because that's like a mean thing to say.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a very purist mentality. This can like relate to social media. There was a point in time when like Instagram was really designed and aimed at photographers.
Yep.
And like photographers would go there and they would edit photos and beautify them. It was great. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, well, I'm going to post this. I'm going to post that. Now it's videos. And they're like,
now
you're ruining the platform. It's like, well, it was always meant to be social, and that might be true.
Evolved.
But like,
yeah,
it evolved, or it could die on the vine. Like that's what it could happen to hunting to some degree. I'm not saying like that's if we reap, we're not going to save hunting. That's not what I'm saying. But it does take all types. There's all kinds. If people get their jollies off in different ways in the turkey woods, like you said, you want to get your heart pumping again and get excited about turkeys, and if that's a way to do it, maybe that's not terrible. If that gets another hunter doing it and buying tags and supporting conservation, I don't know. There's a lot of opinions here.
Yeah, I don't know the right answer.
Unintended.
That's why I think having conversations like this is so great to get other people's opinions, to get educated on a topic that someone like me doesn't know. And it seemed like a lot of the a lot of people that were commenting were very passionate
Right.
turkey hunters.
Yep.
So I can't blame them if it is a problem in their state, and they're seeing turkey numbers go down and they believe that's the cause. More power to you to be passionate about something, but don't automatically just call someone a moron and say, I hope you die. That I think there's a better tactful way to go about, talking about the topic. But, shout out to you guys for having a podcast and talking on kind of, this is like a huge taboo topic that I didn't even know existed before I released an episode and got educated real quick.
It's interesting. You had an episode and we had an episode, and now we're having an episode
about the episodes.
Yeah.
It's all just people helping people. It's very powerful stuff.
Can't wait to tell my therapist about this.
Yeah.
What do you guys know about the North American model of wildlife conservation? Does anybody know what that's all about?
No.
Have you heard of this? Is this a thing?
Yeah, I mean, I hung out in the Doug Dern camp and hear some, Doug's pretty high on it and speaks well to it. I'm gonna say I don't remember everything that it all entails and what we should know about it.
Here's what it is. It's on the screen in a second. There's a delay, but in the United States and Canada, the model operates on 7 independent principles. 7. Okay, so just bear with me here, guys. Wildlife resources are conserved and held in trust for all citizens. That's number 1. Number 2, commerce in dead wildlife is eliminated. Number 3, wildlife is allocated according to democratic rule of law. Number 4, wildlife may only be killed for legitimate, non-frivolous purpose. Number 5, wildlife is an international resource. Number 6, every person has an equal opportunity under the law to participate in hunting and fishing. I'm going to go back to that one. Number 7, scientific management is the proper means for wildlife conservation. So there's some interesting things happening with this. Like number 2, and I'm not going to pick on these guys. That's not what I'm doing. But 1,000% that is the Hunt Quietly, Matt Renoa, Steve Renella's brother. They're on that train hard and heavy. Like, don't post dead animals on social media. Not good for us trying to be in this category. I have some agreements with that and some disagreements with it. I think if you do it responsibly and mindfully, it shouldn't be all that bad. I'm not saying it should be abstinence. And number 6, every person has an equal opportunity under the law to participate in hunting and fishing. Like, how is that not my tag, my hunt? That's like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Textbook, my tag, my hunt. As long as it's legal and ethical. Like, it's right there in that model of conservation. And I don't know if that model is like gospel, if it's guidelines. Again, I don't know what I don't know, so I can't speak to things that I don't know about confidently. But that's interesting because that was referenced a couple of times in the commentary that we had, and I'm like, are we not doing that? Like, what's happening here? So I was studying it. I had ChatGPT distill it down for me, and like tell me more. Enhance. Like fucking Johnny Five when they're trying to read.
Oh.
And I'm 37. If you don't know what Johnny Five is, then you've not been
Johnny,
alive as long
Johnny
as
Five?
Johnny Five alive.
Johnny Five.
Johnny Five is alive. He just reads books. Done. Yeah.
That's what I thought robots were going to be like. Turns out it's not going to be like that.
Yeah, not even
Live
close.
They're just servers doing AI stuff.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I'll mention one tactic that I haven't mentioned on my podcast that I picked up recently for scouting. I was trying to wrap my head around how I can get on the neighbor's property to scout. He doesn't allow any hunting, doesn't allow anybody on there. So it's morel mushroom season right now. So I told him I would split half of everything that I find if he would let me go morel mushroom hunting. And I went morel mushroom hunting, and I finally got to scout that fit the creek crossing on the other side and understand how the deer are utilizing his property.
Perfect.
To more benefit my property and, see what the signs there. I found 3 mushrooms as well, so I gave them all to him.
I would have had another property to get mushrooms. Like I found a
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you'd have brought up 1.5 mushrooms?
Yeah, it's early, so I told him I would be back. I said, this is all I found. I the whole bag. I was like, this is all I found, I'll be back though. And he's like, oh man, this, and he's older, he can't get around. But he was like, yeah, I'm all for that, and it was just kind of a tactic that I thought might help someone out there that if they're trying to scout some ground somewhere, especially if you, like, I had a relationship with this guy. I've asked him before in the past, if I could shed hunt or something like that. And I said, hey, it's mushroom season. Do you like morel mushrooms? He's like, oh yeah, I love them, but I can't get out there. I'm like, I got the solution for you, brother. Man.
Boy, do I got a
Yeah.
deal for
I
you.
got you. I got you.
I'm looking for a place to mushroom hunt as well. And I am always, so, but I'm
Appreciate your
also,
dedication over the years. He's finally like, oh hell, I'll give him something.
Yeah.
on
Just
my
go.
property. Jesus. Next thing you know, he's
Yeah.
can I cut your grass?
yeah, can I cut your grass? And then, yeah, but yeah,
I'd love to chop you
was-
some wood. And
it was cool to see. Yeah. It was cool to see what I thought was happening over there and how the deer were using it. And I was absolutely wrong.
Oh, even better.
So that was cool. That was cool to see. Yeah.
That's good to verify that.
Yeah. It was, and it's like one of those pieces that it's just timber right next to timber that I hunt. And there's never anybody in there. And I kind of use it as a sanctuary area. Not a very big property, but it was cool to see how they're coming off the neighbors on the other end and getting to the piece that I can hunt all the way through his. So it's going to change up the way that I was accessing a way that some deer were probably winded me. And I didn't even notice it. So definitely some good intel gained.
That's smart.
And there's a lot of good mushroom trees out there as well. So I'll be finding more mushrooms on that
only
ground.
found one morel
hooking
mushroom
this
in my
old
life
fella up.
and only one shed in my life. Like, I am not good at this stuff. I need someone to help me,
No.
guys. I found a lot of trees last year.
My wife is really okay with me deer hunting and stuff, but if I told her that I was going to go on a nationwide morel hunting mission and I was bringing them back to the house, she would be like, all right, man, see you in 2 weeks.
I'll pack you
Scoop
up.
up.
Don't let the door hit
Yeah.
you in the ass on
She's
the way
100
out.
Yeah, she was like, we should get a babysitter to come and then for a couple hours and we can go mushroom hunting and then we can have supper and then we can come back home. And she's like, what day should we do it? I'm like, whatever, let's let the season get a little better and then we'll line that up. I'm going to be paying $20 an hour to go mushroom hunting.
Could be worth your while,
Yeah,
depending on how
those
many.
things-
Yeah,
they
yeah,
sell
yeah.
for like $40 a pound, right?
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I don't know where you sell
we
them, but you
eat
can,
everything.
apparently.
Yeah, we eat or give them away to her grandpa or other people. I've never sold any in my life, but I love them, and it's something that her and her dad did when she was young. So she absolutely loves going as well. So I told her, I said, when the kids get a little older, a lot of people do that traveling turkey grand slam. I'm gonna be looking for the morel mushroom grand slam.
There you go.
Bring your
So-
frying pan.
That'd be a fun road trip with the kids.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, load them up and say, all right, we're hitting this state ground. You guys go this way. I'm going this way. Meet back at camp and see what we get. So it'd be a lot of fun.
You guys doing morel hunting yet? Not yet.
It's too cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, are you in Southern Illinois?
Yeah, I'm kind of northern central. It's just starting here. Like I said, I found 3. I found 7 all year so far, and I normally find a lot, but I put a lot of effort into finding them. And I have I bought a lot to a certain area where you can access like this public walking area just for mushrooms because my wife loves it so much and kids are addicted to it. So something I really enjoy doing.
That's good to hear the kids like it.
Yeah.
I brought the whole family, put a GoPro on my daughter, and we looked fairly abusive when I watched the footage back. She was wandering the woods kind of by herself, like lagging behind quite a bit. And I was like, wow, this actually looks pretty cruel. Like, what the hell? And then we had 60 ticks between us and the dog.
Oof.
And I was like, we were pulling off ticks like the next week. It was not cool. My wife's like, I'm never doing that again. I'm
When
like,
was
"All
this?
right,
That worm week?
Yeah, no, 2 years ago.
A couple of years
Before
ago.
we had Dottie, we had just Ed, and it was just me, Logan, my wife, and our son Dane. And we went to the conservancy property because you can recreate on this conservancy all year long. You can like deer hunt if you get drawn for it. But it's a beautiful property. I love getting out there. You've been to it.
Mhm.
So I was like, this is gonna be great. We're just gonna like walk around this property. It's gonna be cool. We're gonna find morel mushrooms because like no one else is gonna be out here at all. We can find a single mushroom. So I don't know what I'm doing. One of these years.
Wrong area.
Well, how do I know? It could.
Well,
I was
yeah,
probably just not
because
looking
you were
at it.
messaging me. What
There's
should I look
enough-
for? I'm
there's
like,
enough
dude, you
out
need to
there.
find elm trees.
Yeah.
Elm trees with the bark peeling off. That's what does good around here.
Only I
They'll
knew
grow
what an
around
elm-
some
only I
oaks.
knew what an
Yeah,
elm
okay.
tree looked like. Dead elm trees.
And now you could mistake them for ash trees if you really don't know your trees that
Well,
well,
sounds
because
like
we got so many dead
Yeah.
ash
You
trees
got
peeling
piss
apart.
poor
There's a ton of
woodmanship,
dead
my
ash.
boy.
Yeah,
Supposedly,
supposedly.
they
Land
grow
every
around
little
ash trees,
gadgets.
but
You
Yep.
know, learn some woodsmanship.
yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. Supposedly they grow around ash trees, but I've never found one around an ash
Me either.
tree yet.
Not a one.
I aggressively look for those little ash
How
trees
does
just
that
because,
look
like I said,
aggressive?
aggressively. Yeah, I'm putting in way too much
We
effort
find them
every year.
around pine trees and some
But,
species here. Elm trees are given. Sometimes old apple
Yeah.
orchards. are
Red
good.
bark elm, man.
Yep.
The underbark's red, starting to crack. Woodpecker holes in
Yep.
it. Half chub over here. Thank you.
Only half job. I thought more.
I know where there's at least 4 of those
Yeah.
right now, and I took a walk under them and not a lick. It'll happen.
Yeah,
It'll
like
happen,
I said, it's just starting here. People were just starting to find a few, so
you
guys
you can't overpick a morel mushroom population.
You want to piss off some morel mushroom hunters? Put them in a solid bag.
Yeah.
That'll
What's
piss
that?
them off.
Yeah.
That'll get the
yeah.
diehards
I'm
pissed.
sure
Yes.
there's some purists.
Put 'em in a
out here
plastic
that-
grocery
that's
bag.
gonna
Put 'em in
host
a
this
pla- and
podcast.
tie it on
And tie it
top.
on top.
What's with the netted
Don't let any
bags?
of the spores out.
You got to use the mesh bag so the spores spread as you walk through the woods.
Which
so more
doesn't-
morels
Doesn't
can
happen
grow.
all that well.
Oh, is that the thing? See, I actually was going to
That's
ask
the
about that because
ideology,
people
I
use these
think.
netted. I'm like, where do you even get the netted bag?
You can buy them.
You can buy them, he says. That's great.
Or
to
you
know.
could just go buy a bag of onions and just dump the onions out and take the bag.
There you go.
See?
But I heard you really got to watch
Yeah,
these things
there's,
because there's like spiders in them and shit.
Yeah, they got their house.
Yeah, that's a giant stigma, as well as the some people say you got to cut them with a knife and don't pull the root balls. You guys are gonna get hosed on this episode.
Oh, yeah.
For morel hunting.
It's fine.
I was
There's
fine
guys-
with
some
turkeys,
guys
and then
gonna
he tells
come
me
out
morels,
like,
and it really
"Whoa."
pissed me off, you know?
Yeah, it really pissed me off on this one, guys.
Educate
You
me.
guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're gonna ruin the morel population across the world.
The last 2 weeks,
So-
we've lost all the viewership between Cody's podcast.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
That's it. We're just gonna have to hang out every Thursday night, all 4 of us.
Yeah,
There's like a
yeah.
chart of all the podcasts. You just see like this line going down of ours. Like, wow, those two really went downhill.
They talked about turkeys
Yeah,
and
those really
morels.
went downhill.
Oh gosh. No, thanks for jumping on with us, man. How do people find Whitetail Legacy? Where can we send them?
I'm on all streaming platforms for podcasts. I stopped doing YouTube because the new hosting site I have, it doesn't upload there. But I need to put it back up there. There was like a solid 30 or 40 people that listened on YouTube that I'm probably really pissing off right now. But I just I like everybody, I have an extreme amount of stuff going on. So me getting a episode up weekly and hosting it myself is a struggle enough.
Yeah. I hear that.
So just posting it where it goes is what I've been doing. But yeah, I am on Waypoint now. You can find me there. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff. But yeah, if you like whitetail hunting and more of this kind of chatting and camaraderie, I'm a good podcast to get that.
Awesome,
Sweet.
man.
Well, go check
Sweet.
out Whitetail Legacy. It's one of my favorite podcasts. I've said this out loud before, so I'm not just saying it because you're here.
Yeah, I've been
I say it when
listening
you're
to
not.
it since you started, so
Yeah, it's good
I
stuff.
enjoy it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in live and in podcast land. I'm gonna let this music play out, and we'll be back next week with more shenanigans.
Have a good night.